I know that among our viewers there are a lot of hobby blacksmiths. Just imagine forging something like that. I know there's a lot of you wise guys who thought you could forge the other anchor. We've got this one too.
This is a steam hammer.
Gosh.
And this is a series of, okay, so these are two cranes. We've got crane 1 and we've got crane 2. And these are designed to carry the stuff to be forged as it's moving. Whoa! Look at this. Look at this. Look at how big that drawdown is. And then this is the forge here, presumably.
That's cased in bricks. I'm assuming that's it, aren't you?
And then those are blocks of steel down there.
And then somehow you need to carry like a massive chunk of steel that big. You need to somehow get it out of that forge and move it over to this giant steam hammer, you know, grab it and maneuver it into place, and then you've got this giant steam hammer that goes whap, whap, whap. And then you end up with that, I guess.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
In this one, you can see the lines, the grain in the metal. I guess this is an original wrought iron anchor. That is tremendously cool. You can see the lines in this from the grain structure in the metal. But by folding it repeatedly, as you had to do with wrought iron back in the day, you end up with some areas that have a little bit more silicon in them, and some areas that are more pure iron, and so it gets a grain. Here's stock to be forged. There's more stock to be forged.
You know, I've seen this on YouTube videos of modern forges with giant power hammers that do this, right? Somehow it's really amazing to see all this rusted equipment and to remember that people were doing it 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, right? That, you know, all of these pieces of equipment, except for maybe that except for maybe that hammer, are kinds of things that I could conceivably build, you know? You could get a few guys together and build a crane like this. You could get a few guys together and build a forge like that. You could get a few guys together maybe with some purchased parts and build a giant steam hammer like that. And, you know, in your backyard, on your neighborhood block, you could have a workshop like this. That's the level of the technology, is that it's the kind of thing that could be operated by 5 guys, you know, in somebody's backyard. And that's amazing.
Yeah. Especially when you consider the risks involved. I mean,
Hefting. I don't even want to know how much this anchor costs, right? Imagine the whole shaft of it being, you know, yellow hot, straw heat, and hefting that around. Boy, you need to have some courage and some real competence for that. That is not something that you do lightly. What do you think about this as you look at this? What do we learn from this, and what do we notice?
It reminds me a little bit of moving those massive stones, where it's like, it's a mixture of totally possible, but just barely.
The stones at
The stones at Archeon.
At Archeon, yeah.
We moved a couple of massive stones, you know, with rollers, logs, kind of like what they do at Stonehenge. And when I look at this stuff, for one thing, I'm amazed. I don't know how many lifetimes it would take me to forge this thing.
I also think it's a deeply noble endeavor to pursue in your own individual life, to whatever it is that you're working on, you know, whatever it is that your craft is or your mission is, that you're pushing the boundaries of your ability and testing those limits and trying to do a better job than anyone has done before and that you have done before, and trying to do things, trying to go a little bit further, a little bit beyond what it is that you're already aware of and what you already know. And I think that that's a deeply noble pursuit. I see nobility here. I see nobility in that effort to wrestle these massive chunks of steel. I see nobility in that effort to, you know, extend human power through these giant cranes. I see a deeply moral endeavor there in some sense. Joseph and I are often suspicious of different portions of the Industrial Revolution, and that's a very fair criticism. But I think that there is something deeply moral about the proper pursuit of technology and the proper development of technology.
Increasing your capacity is also about increasing your responsibility.
Oh,
That which
Okay.
you can do more of, you are more responsible. It's like taking more ownership. In one sense, playing God is dangerous because we're not
Yeah.
capable of that responsibility. But in another sense, playing God is exactly what we should be doing.
I sense something deeply noble there in this expansion of capacity. Now, it is true that that capacity can be misused. Just like, I think probably all things can be misused. But if properly pursued with that moral integration into the technology, I really do believe it becomes a noble, edifying, and really, the word that comes to mind is maybe even a sacred human endeavor. And that's a really cool thing to think about. We use technology. You use technology. We're trying to figure out how to use technology right. We hope you enjoy the intersection of technology and ideas on this channel. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.